What's going on, guys? Sure, you knock about here again. We're in Mama Kitchen today. Nice veggie menu. We have some tofu, mushroom, and Singapore noodles. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this one. Right, so let me get started one time. Some of the ingredients we have: mushroom, tofu. I have some fresh veggies here: sweet pepper, onion, two kinds, the purple and the regular onion, pimento, ginger, garlic. Hey, check how we matching and thing. Where's this? What color you have to wear next? Green?
You just choose the color. You just choose the color and I'm coming up with it.
Alright. Right. Continue with the ingredients. We have cornstarch. I have some chili oil, some sesame oil, and I just like to, anything I boil in, I like to add this garlic and onion. Let's give a nice flavor to the dish. So we water on the stove over here. It's almost ready to boil. So I'm gonna add one of this Maggi cube. So I just kind of mash it up, right? Put it inside there. I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. And now we're gonna add this is what is used to make Singapore noodles, is vermicelli. Same thing is used to make sawine, but this is just the unpatched one, and there's the long grains. If you come closer, you can see the long grains in it, right? And this is eggless, 100% vegetarian, right? I'm not gonna add all because this is come up to plenty, so I'm probably gonna add like half of it. Normally, at the back of any pasta or noodles or anything, there's have a cooking time. Let's have a recipe for sawine. Oh, how long to cook this thing for? 10 to 15 minutes? That's wrong. Right, but we're going by guess. No, there's normally say on the pack.
Sorry about that.
So you just test my noodles, see if it cook. I'll do it with one hand, because we are this fat boy here. What is one? I get the fatty at this. You're doing something to eat, you don't get excited already. Easy boogeyman. You like it? Noodles taste nice? I gotta take out some fare, right? Yeah, I done it. Now I put the strain. Right. So, by we taste test, the noodles done boil, time to strain. Always remember when you're straining to have some cool running water so you wouldn't damage your plumbing. Right? Give it a good shake. Good. So What I like to add to the noodles now will be some sesame oil and a little touch of chili oil. The reason I add in the sesame oil and the chili oil now is just so the noodles wouldn't stick. You could add some regular oil, but you know, any way that you could include a little more flavor into the food, go ahead and do so. Right? And I'm gonna stir it occasionally while it cools down so it wouldn't overcook and clump up in one. So I have the mushroom and the tofu here. The mushroom we have is shiitake mushrooms. I got this at Singla, a Chinese grocery supermarket. They sell wholesale ingredients. So this is coming in a big tin. This is what I'm using. This is my favorite type of mushroom because it's the most meaty mushroom it have. It's not mushy. When you cook it, it have a nice little bite to it. And this tofu that we just use, basically any kind of tofu will be good, but this one is a semi-firm tofu, so it wouldn't mash up as much. So that I try not to cut the tofu underneath, right? So this is what the tofu look like. You can just drain out this water. I'm gonna take out one. So this is the block. Sometimes it might come in 2 pieces, 3 pieces. This is the size of it. I'm gonna cut it in half. Cut it in quarters, and I'm going to cut even cubes, as even as possible. Right?
Make it noise so the father make it make noise.
Yeah. Any noise in the background is generally an Asarian.
No, it's not sorry.
And he mouth mess up. I know he mouth mess up with.
He was eating. No, he was eating pizza just now.
Pizza. Okay. Right?
Again.
Hey! That's Asarian!
Wait.
Die my bowl!
Eu sei que ele fica de bowl, huh?
Alright, play with that.
Bowl
Alright,
for the video look better.
Mama will give me a better bowl to use. Right. What we use to butter the tofu and the mushroom is cornstarch. I would 100% recommend you get cornstarch. Don't try to use flour because the flour will soak up the oil. The cornstarch will give you a lot more crispy finish, right? So, cornstarch. And the thing is, you don't add any seasoning to it, okay? I'm going to help all. Right? So, you're not adding any seasoning to it because you want it to fry and become a light color. All the flavor going to come from the sauce. So you put your tofu inside here. Coating all the tofu properly. Just try to leave it for like about a minute inside the cornstarch for the cornstarch to soak up all the moisture on the outside. You feel the tofu itself get firm, so that is when you know it's a good time to put it to fry. You see, it get a lot more, well, you wouldn't see, but I could feel that it get firm, and when you put it in the pot, it wouldn't break apart. So you move across to the pot and take your time and put it in. Good. So you always need to fry your tofu before you use it. Otherwise, if it is you cook your tofu just so, it's going to mash up. Some just come pre-fried, some you have to fry yourself. So let's take my time. I try not to let it touch. If you have a fine mesh strainer, you could always speed up the process by just sifting out the cornstarch. Good. So I'm just gonna keep moving it around. So if you come close, you'll see this. You want the tofu to get brown, right? But sometimes if your oil too hot, the tofu will swell up like that and it could burst, and that'll be a real problem. So I have it on a medium to high heat, not too much heat for it to burn.
Yeah, and also no need to be so high because they will be fried very good outside and inside no problem.
Inside we go, yeah. We have a professional fast wing wire associate over here, so
I work in long time with them, okay?
yeah. So you want to give it enough time to cook. While they're frying, I'm going to put in the next batch of tofu inside there. There, that's it. Right, so we're taking it out there now. You could, if you listen properly, you'll hear the oil making plenty noise. That is when the tofu cook and plenty of the moisture from the inside escaping. So if it is you listen to your pot, you'll know what's going on. This tofu already cooked, and I'll be taking it out. Right, so time to cut up the mushrooms. When you cut the mushrooms for this, you cut it at an angle and you want big slices, right? So you cut it like this. This is what you're looking at. So from one mushroom, you only get like about 3 pieces. That's good size pieces again, right? It doesn't have to be too uniform. The uneven surface, the uneven edges is become crispy, and that is, you know, have a more texture and flavor to it. So that's going through, roughly chopping all. Sometimes I don't even be fasting. We just make this in the shop now. I don't even be fasting, I just want to eat. So mushroom in the cornstarch. So you just mix it up in the cornstarch and you're gonna fry this. Now the mushrooms go absorb plenty of the cornstarches, so make sure you have enough. Good. Better fry. Change color. And that happens when you're frying with cornstarch. Remember, these ingredients and all have a lot of water content in it, so it will cause the oil to change color quickly. Plenty excess cornstarch in the oil that kind of burning, you could say. So So you're just letting this fry crispy. Right, so this is the second half.
Up now.
Who's there?
What you doing?
Right. So add the pot on the stove and leaving it to get a little hot. Seal thing, mate. Just throw in a little bit of oil. So anytime you stir fry anything, you want to have all your ingredients prepared, so when you're ready to cook, you don't have to worry about anything, right? So I have some onions, so I'm just gonna slice up some onion. Pimentos, just take off the stem. I'm going with some colorful ones, just so it will look prettier. I like to cut the pimentos long ways. Nice and thin.
Fry. I come on one second, let's get from here.
Garlic, crush it, and let's chop it up. I'm going with a good amount of garlic. I'm not worrying to cut the garlic too fine. And I have ginger. So the ginger just taking off the skin. You could scrape it off with a spoon if you want as well, right? So that size of ginger should be good. The ginger, same thing. You crush it and you chop it up. So the ginger, I'm trying to cut it up real fine because, I mean, biting into a big chunk of ginger is never nice. So I feel that should be good there. And that's all we putting in the noodles. So you have your pot with the oil here, you put in your aromatics. And you let this cook. I want this to cook on low heat because I want everything to get soft and I don't want it to burn. So everything cooked down a little bit. You could see the onions getting kind of translucent. Now we're gonna throw in the noodles. We're gonna add some all-purpose Chinese seasoning. I have some fried rice seasoning. And I have ginger in it, but I'm still gonna add a little bit of ginger powder. Magato. Right, so there you have it. Your Singapore noodles finished. Out the stove, set it aside, and let's do the tofu and the mushroom. Jesus! So to do the mushroom and the tofu, we're going to be doing it in the same sauce, so it'll just be two different things. We're going to use some onion. I have the purple onion and the regular onion. I have some sweet pepper. I'm going to cut up some pimentos and also garlic. So everything just cut in julienne like this. Pimentos, same thing like last time. Cut out the stems. Nah. But I almost finished with this over here. If you find the pimentos real big and thing, you could just crush
What
it.
is happening?
Pizza. I just slicing the pimentos the same way. Tofu and mushroom. So you all know I'm a real garlic lover, right? I really like the flavor of garlic in any food, honestly. So I would always use more garlic. So let me get started with the sauce for the tofu and the mushroom. I'm going with some ketchup. Some hoisin sauce. This have a very strong flavor, so you don't need much of it. I'll touch of sesame oil and some chili oil, some seasoning, I usually 2 types of seasoning, a little bit of white sugar. A lot of you don't know this, but in Chinese cooking, they use a lot of white sugar and some water. Add an extra amount of water because the sauce is going to cook down and get back thick. The reason I add so much water is because I'm going to cook the tofu or the mushroom in the same sauce for a little while, so it could absorb a lot of the flavor. So, woo, now you're on fire. Mushroom. Going with the sauce. Brilliant. Right. So I put on the stove all the ingredients here. I'm going with some garlic, pimentos, onion. Try to get it 2 sets, and some sweet pepper, and let us cook down. Ta-da!
What is this you cooking here?
Make a guess.
What kind of sauce?
Where do you think I'll go in the sauce now?
The sauce how to go in?
No!
Mushroom? Paneer?
Line up on right tofu, yeah. Anyone when you're ready.
Tofu and paneer is the same thing?
No, it's not the same thing.
So yeah, it's not the same. Continue. So let's come to put our flavor in the pot now. If I have one Maggi flavor in the pot, this is Danish flavor in the pot.
Ta-da!
Put your record.
There is videoing tool he using that to get smooth shots. Right? So now is when we go in with the tofu.
I just go record and
Yeah.
I will very battery and have a battery.
That's why I gotta taste this.
I call it fast and slow.
Right guys, so you see almost all the sauce turn into a glaze. This is ready. So I'm going to repeat the process here for the mushroom. What I do is I add some water to it. I'm gonna use all the veggies because we don't have anything else to cook, right? Good. And let us start to simmer before adding the mushroom. Yeah. So your sauce bubbling up nice. Put in the mushroom. With a little turn. And you let it reduce and thicken up. Yeah, right guys, so the mushroom finished there. You can see I do the mushroom a little more dry than the tofu. On the stove. Good. Okay. Right, so let me dish out, taste test the noodles. The thing about, well, with me at least, when I eat in veggie food, I just really can't eat too much. My belly does full fast, boy. So a couple pieces of tofu and some mushroom. I really like this mushroom, so I'll take extra mushroom. Right, so let me go and taste test. Taste test time. Okay, just try the noodles by itself. The noodles really tasty. I like that they don't have too much seasoning to it. I don't have too much seasoning or any salt or anything. Boiling the noodles with the salt does really make a big difference. So the noodles, real nice. Tofu. Mm. The tofu, because we fry it in we batter it with the cornstarch. The tofu have a kind of crispiness on the outside that remain there even after we cook it down in the sauce. And we use a semi-firm tofu, so which give it a better bite to it. People might enjoy it a little more other than the soft tofu. It'll be a little mushy on the inside. Hoisin sauce. Note, hoisin sauce, when you cook it with hoisin sauce, you try your very best not to use too much because it's something that very, very potent, it's very strong. So when you cook it with hoisin sauce, you could either use a little bit. If you really like the flavor, go ahead, use it as is. The mushroom. Mm. Out of all, the mushroom had to be my favorite because it's the closest thing to meat. Honestly, it's the closest thing to meat when you're fasting. So I think the mushroom is really my go-to to everything. Like I say, sometimes when we in the shop and I'm fasting, I just ask them to make mushroom for me to eat if I'm not feeling to eat the meat. So, real good. So there you have it, guys. My version, my very own way to make some really tasty mushroom Singapore noodles and some tofu. Hope you all try this recipe and enjoy it. Until the next time, bye.